Hello everybody, this is Tony Magna from Integrated Heights in Southeast Wisconsin, Wellness and Healing Center. I wanted to take a quick introduction video on the topic of traditional Chinese medicine. And so I'm a licensed acupuncturist in the state of Wisconsin. I went to 3.5 years of graduate school to study traditional Chinese medicine. But understand that acupuncture is just a single part of the entire umbrella of traditional Chinese medicine. So it's a single modality. And so one of the main things that makes Chinese medicine unique is that they use multiple modalities to come up with a treatment plan for an individual. And so it's not just a single medication, it's not a surgery. So those are the two main treatment strategies in Western medicine, are pharmaceutical intervention and surgical, physical therapy perhaps, chiro if you stretch it out just a little bit, for a manual therapy. And so as we treat individuals with illness or disease or injuries, we are now coming up with integrated treatment plans. And so, like I said, it's not just a single thing. And that's one concept from traditional Chinese medicine that will ultimately enhance the medical field as a whole, because it's all about preventative medicine, anti-aging, and ultimately body restoration. How can we restore your body from traumas, from injuries and things like that? But also, how can we live our healthiest life? How can we be the healthiest that we can possibly be? And that comes through lifestyle, diet, supplementation, exercise. All of these things you begin to incorporate into your life, and you prevent disease in that way. And so sometimes in Western medicine, when people come to the hospital, disease is already set in, and sometimes it's already too late. And so the Chinese perspective of how to live one's life, a healthy life, is to live a healthy life. And that's, like I said, with exercise, eating good, fitting in, being a part of society, having good relationships and things like that. And so everything accumulates in your life to make up your life. And so if you can align with healthy living and being a good person, ultimately disease won't set in. But negativity and anger and aggression and crime and things like that, these are all things that can break your body down. But ultimately, like I said, you want to be as healthy as you can. And so the 5 treatment strategies in traditional Chinese medicine are as follows. So acupuncture. So acupuncture is the first modality. So like I said, there's a large umbrella of traditional Chinese medical treatment strategies, as well as the theory itself, which creates the foundation. And so acupuncture is based on a book that was written actually in the 4th century BC, called the Yellow Emperor's Internal Classic. And this is a book compiled of actually 2 smaller textbooks that were later combined into this single textbook, and that lists out the acupuncture theory, the meridian theory, the yin and yang theory, which actually predates that book, but the first chapter is on yin and yang theory. Like I said, the meridian system, the acupuncture points, which recognizes the 364 different acupuncture points that are along the meridian channels, so again, that's the first modality. So somebody comes to you sick, that's the first treatment strategy that we use. Second on the list would be secondary therapies, which include massage, cupping, gua sha, which is scraping therapy, similar to Graston. And then there's another technique that you can use, what's called acupressure, which you can push on acupuncture points, and ultimately you can have a similar result as a needle would. 3 on the list, diet, supplementation, formulas. So they're a big proponent of eating towards the seasons. So in the winter, we're in Wisconsin here, so it's cold, so you want to eat a lot of warming foods to help keep your body warm. You don't want to eat a lot of iced water and a lot of cold fruits and things like that. This is something that can put additional cold into your body, and it can actually stress your body in the winter. And then on the opposite end of that, if in the summer is when you want to eat the cooling foods because it's hot outside. And so it's always living in a balanced manner. And so you always, there's no getting out of the nature. So that always has an influence on the body. And so you eat to adapt to your environment, and living within your environment, that ultimately can help prevent a lot of colds and flus, summer flus, cold flus in the winter, and if you eat well, you'll have the capacity and the vitality to fight off any of those just acute illnesses like that. Exercise, number 4. So exercise, Tai Chi, Qigong, martial arts, these are all ancient, Oriental arts that help forge and strengthen the body. Now we have, the Olympic teams use weightlifting just as the Western Olympic athletes use weightlifting and weightlifting and Olympic lifting and things like that. So we've kind of combined exercises, but the traditional exercises in Chinese medicine are Tai Chi and Qigong, and the martial arts, Kung Fu and things like that, Wing Chun. These are all exercises that, these are the warriors in society, but also it ultimately helps keep your, long for immortality. And so that's what the old martial artists used to do, is they wanted to live as long as you can because you're a warrior. And then number 5 is lifestyle. So, or right view. You should fit into society. You should have a job. You should contribute to society. This is something that a lot of Confucius and Taoist philosophies in the Oriental theories include. Is you can't just so a lot of times when people think of Chinese temples and up in Tibet and things like that, people are, these monks are just sitting in the mountains just meditating. Yeah, that's a journey to go learn how to do that. But ultimately, you come back down from the mountain and you incorporate the things you learned up into the temples into your life. And that, you can meditate daily, but your life should be your meditation. It's an ongoing process. You can't just sit in a cave. You have to eat. You have to contribute. You have to gather food. You have to feed yourself. If you have protect your family, things like this. These are all part of lifestyle, and lifestyle can manifest disease as well. Specifically through stress manifestation. And so if you have a stressful job or life is stressful, all of this is accumulating emotional stress upon the body, and from that can manifest disease. And so they always say, you should flow with your rhythm of where you've been reincarnated. You should flow with where you've been manifested. And so, and you can shift your lifestyle. I mean, here in America, you have the free will to do what you wish. And so we have the will to do that. And so lifestyle, from a health perspective and a wellness perspective, is you should avoid stress and seek out joy, things like that. And that, you can incorporate meditation and breath work. Meditation, all of the meditation techniques are rooted in morality. If you're a good person, you'll have a clear mind and a clear heart, and that can help prevent disease. And so, in summary, in Chinese medicine, we use combined methods to ultimately help bring health and wellness upon for an individual as we come up with a treatment plan for them. And so as we move into the modern era, this is going to be an integration model of medicine, not just in China, not just in America, but in the entire world. We're moving towards an integrated modalities. Beyond, like I said, Western medicine, they're the most advanced, the most funded, and so because of that, they have the greatest say right now, if you will. But largely what they use is pharmaceutical intervention, surgical intervention, and, like I said, PT. And that's not to say that Western medicine is bad, because they have, like I said, they have the most advanced technologies in all the world. And so they lead the medical field in emergency care. They will keep you alive in emergency care. They're the best in the world. Same thing with surgical intervention. They have the best, like orthopedic surgeries, brain surgeries, organ surgeries like this. They're setting the standard for how to do that. But in Chinese medicine, where Chinese medicine can fill in gaps in the medical theory, is preventative medicine and anti-aging and body restoration. Things like that can ultimately promote longevity and prevent disease from manifesting in the first place. And so if we do this over generations and generations, as if we continue to teach society how to take care of their health, and generate their own wellness, take control of your own wellness and health, and ultimately help the doctors prevent disease so they don't have such a large caseload. And if we do this generation after generation, it'll just grow the overall potential of an individual, including the capacity of intellect, The education of the world right now is growing at at a pace that it's never been, and that's because knowledge is so accessible. And so that's ultimately how we can combine two sides of the world, Eastern medicine and Western medicine, combine the methods and bring together two parts of the world that seem so unfamiliar, but they will complement each other. And that's a term that's actually used as complementary medicine. Eastern medicine can complement Western medicine, and that's actually what's happening. And so if you go to hospitals in China, all the medical doctors in China are acupuncturists, so they use acupuncture, but that's not the only thing that they use. And that's kind of the whole relevance of the theory of Chinese medicine is you apply what's needed, but with the advancements in with medicine, we're able to now incorporate Western medicine to ultimately help, like I said, and just enhance the medical theory as a whole. And so these are just some of the ideas of traditional Chinese medicine. So again, my name is Tony Megna. I'm from Integrated Heights Wellness and Healing Center in Southeast Wisconsin. I'm here to help people, and that's all I want to do. And if I can use these concepts to help educate somebody how to be healthy and live a healthy life, that's ultimately what gives me motivation to wake up in the morning. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and journey on.